Thanks for watching another episode of Rider Nation Station. Help us help you by subscribing on YouTube or following us on Facebook.
Welcome to Rider Nation Station. I'm Logan Yelton. Up here is going to be Seth Hertenstein and Lance Ibrahim to call the game. We will be heading over to the field mic for senior night here at Rough Rider Field. Want to thank everybody here and congratulate all these seniors and make sure that we capture this for their future memories. As of right now, we're going to go ahead and turn over to Lance Ibrahim, the public address announcer. And we'll be back with you shortly, where Lance and Seth Hertenstein will be joining us up here in the booth.
Evident in every practice and game where they have given their all and fostered a culture of excellence. As they prepare to take the next step in their lives, we reflect on their achievements and the lasting legacy they leave behind. We also extend a heartfelt thank you to these seniors for their commitment, hard work, and the inspiration they provided to coaches and fellow players. You gentlemen have set a standard that will guide future generations. As we celebrate tonight, we would also like to take a moment to congratulate and thank the seniors from Sidney High School. Number 13, Braden Kennedy. Number 14, Javier Leoza. Number 34, Landon Ludwig. Number 11, Gilbert Quaintance. And number 18, Alex Fenton. Good luck on the rest of your season, Sidney seniors. So let's give a warm round of applause as we proudly welcome the St. Mary's Boys Soccer Team, class of 2024. Thank you for your incredible contributions, and we look forward to seeing where your journeys take you next. Our first senior up tonight, number 3, Connor Rust. Our versatile center midfielder and defender. Connor has been on the soccer field for an impressive 14 years, showing his talent on both ends of the pitch. His favorite team to compete against? The always tough Shawnee Indians. When he's not playing at home, Connor loves taking the field at Bath, where the competition keeps him sharp. One of his most forgettable moments? Scoring the winning goal against Maumee Valley last year. That's what clutch looks like. As for his pregame ritual, Connor likes to keep things cool, literally, with a cold shower before every game. It's his way of staying sharp and focused. His biggest inspiration, Cole Palmer, a player he looks up for his skill and determination. To the younger teammates, Connor offers this solid piece of advice. Life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around once in a while, you just might miss it. Wise words for both on and off the field. After graduation, Connor has big plans. He's decided between Bowling Green State University or Cincinnati. Though he's still figuring out what major to pursue, whatever he chooses, we know he will succeed. Tonight, Connor is proudly supported by his parents, Doug and Patty Rust. Let's give them a round of applause as well. And let's hear it, give it up for number 3, Connor Rust. All right, fans, our next senior up, number 7, Vincent Holtzapple, the man in the middle, our star center midfielder. He's been tearing up the field for an impressive 13 years. And when it comes to rivalries, his favorite team to play is none other than Salina. You know that's always a fun matchup. When he's not dominating here at home, Vincent loves playing away games at Ontario. But his most epic soccer moment, beating Walpock in sectionals during his freshman year. Now that's how you make a mark. And while some players have quirky pregame rituals, Vincent keeps it cool with no pregame routine, just focus and drive. His biggest inspiration, Cody Burt, a role model who's motivated him to give it his all. To his younger teammates, Vincent has this advice: play every game like it's your last. Now that's the kind of intensity we love. As for what's next, Vincent is headed off to college where he'll be majoring in business. Future CEO alert, folks. Tonight, Vinny is supported by his proud parents, Coach James Holtzapple and Janelle Holtzapple. Let's give it up for Mom and Dad. And let's hear it one more time for number 7, Vincent Holtzapple. Next up, let's show a little love for our senior number 13, Braden Keller, our incredible attacking midfielder. Braden has been kicking the ball around for an impressive 14 years. That's a lot of goals and assists. His favorite team to play, you guessed it, Walpock, keeping that rivalry strong. When he's not lighting it up at home turf, Braden's favorite away field is Clyde High School. Why? Because they have a light-up airplane. Can't beat the view from there. Braden's most unforgettable soccer moment, scoring the winning goal against Salina in the district final during his junior year. Talk about a clutch play. Now, before every game, Braden's pregame ritual is all about keeping it light. He loves to complain and crack jokes about losing, no matter who the opponent is. Keeps the mood nice and relaxed, right? When it comes to inspiration, Braden gives a huge shout out to his teammate, Vincent Holtzapple. Vincent always pushes Braden to be his best because, let's be honest, he's one of the only guys who could guard him. For the younger guys on the team, Braden offers this advice: be nice to your teammates. It's okay to get frustrated, but at the end of the day, you're all playing the sport you love. Wise words to live by. And what's next for Braden? He's heading off to college. Still figuring out where, but he's set on majoring in mathematics. Watch out, world. Future math whiz coming your way. Tonight, Braden is supported by his proud parents, Brad and Chris Keller. Let's give them a round of applause. And let's hear it for our senior, number 13, Braden Keller.
Albert Sporting Goods, American Legion Post 323, All Glaze Equipment Rental, Capabilities, David Wabacher Attorney, Eagles 767, FCA, Fowler's TV, Freedom Marketing Strategies, Grand Lake Roofing, Guarneri's Pizzeria,
Jackalope Stash, Larry Schaff Auto Sales, Laura Yelton State Farm, MHS Alumni Foundation, Miller Funeral Homes, Minster Bank, Plus One Professional Real Estate, Ryder Rooters, Roots Pub, St. Mary's Foundry, Sean Barnett Electrical, Spees Chiropractic and Wellness Center, Spring Street Storage, TSC, and Varsity Lanes.
Hello, Rough Rider Nation. This is Seth Hertenstein back for some more Rough Rider varsity action. The Riders play a Sidney team tonight who has had an up and down season. They've got 8 wins on the season and only 3 losses, but those 3 losses have been by pretty big scores, scoring 0 goals in each of those games. So we're not real sure what the Riders will see tonight from Sidney. The Riders are coming back after a really late night against Shawnee. Those of you that joined in on that game, that was a late night. I'm sure the boys got home pretty late. Hopefully they're rested up and ready to get some revenge back here against Sidney. We do have senior night here tonight, so we just got done honoring the seniors. If you missed that, we've got Connor Rust, Vinny Holtzapple, and Braden Keller are the Riders' only 3 seniors tonight. So expect to see them get a little bit inspired because of the senior night. Senior night's always a very important night. Hopefully they have a good night. Going to get started here very soon. The refs just had the coin toss. We'll be lining up here just shortly. Lance Ibrahim will be joining me here in just a few moments after he announces the starting lineup. So he'll be doing double duty tonight just for a little bit. Those of you that missed the Riders' previous game against Shawnee, they did lose 1-3. But if you watched, you will notice it was a pretty tight game pretty much the whole way. 1-1 for most of the game. Slight hiccup from goalkeeping and on a wet turf field, so understandable. But put the Rough Riders down 2-1. And that was pretty much it. Shawnee got a goal in the last minute of the game to really seal it 3-1. But I did watch that game, and if you ask me, I honestly, for first time in quite a while, the Rough Riders honestly were on par with Shawnee. So we'll see if they have a letdown here tonight because they're disappointed from that game, or if they're excited to get back out here.
Ladies and gentlemen, Rider Field for today's match between our guests, the Sidney Yellow Jackets, and your St. Mary's Memorial Rough Riders. In order to make this match as enjoyable as possible, please represent your school and your community in a positive and respectful manner by following the rules, speaking and acting responsibly, showing courtesy and respect for all involved, including fans, officials, coaches, administrators, and of course, your team and their opponents. Let's respect each other and of course, respect the game. Ladies and gentlemen, we live in a nation with freedoms like no other. To celebrate those freedoms and those who have defended and those who are currently defending these freedoms we all enjoy. we ask that you please stand and remove your hats as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem, the Star Spangled Banner. Officials have been selected in accordance with the procedures adopted by the Ohio High School Athletic Association. Let's welcome and thank Roger Scott and Samson Chawara Makanda for being a part of today's match. And now for the teams. First, for our guests, the Sidney Yellow Jackets. They are coached by Jamie Friedley, along with assistants George Mayu, Jason Snyder, Kate Morrison. The starters for the Yellow Jackets are number 23, Connor McCall. Number 30, Ryanosku Kamura. Number 32, Elijah Miller. Number 10, Grady Mitchell. Number 33, Zach Ambos. Number 17, Yosuf D. Number 9, Jaden Dankelson. Number 13, Braden Kennedy. Number 11, Gilbert Quaintance. Number 14, Javier Laoza. And in the goal tonight for the Yellow Jackets, number 0, Samuel Baldoff. And now, on your feet for your 2024 St. Mary's Memorial Rough Riders. Number 3, Connor Rust. Number 7, Vincent Holtzapple. Number 8, Jake Ackroyd. Number 13, Braden Keller. Number 15, Cohen Kraft. Number 16, Brady Triplett. Number 19, Noah White. Number 14, Brady Dingledine. Number 23, Rowan Burbright. Number 24, Will Ross. And in the goal tonight, wearing number 0, Landon Klaus. The Riders are coached by James Holtzapple, Skylar Lyman, Steve Steinecker, and Josh Slusher. We want to wish both teams the best of luck, and we want to welcome you once again to Rough Rider Field for today's match between your Rough Riders and the Sidney Yellow Jackets.
All right, welcome back. About to kick off here. Lance will be joining us here in just a moment. So you'll have to deal with me for a few more minutes all by myself. See if I can entertain you by myself for a little bit. We do have the band here tonight. We got some cheerleaders over there, some baton twirlers. Should be a nice, entertaining night for you. Hopefully the boys on the field give us a nice, entertaining game as well. Sidney's going to start off with the ball here. Riders have a very similar lineup from the other night against Shawnee. See if they play a little bit differently than they did against Shawnee. They played with, most of the time, about 5 defenders. Tonight it looks like they're back to their old formation with a stopper-sweeper. Sidney early with possession. Rough Riders take it pretty quick and give it right back. Haven't seen Sidney play, so I'm not sure what kind of style they're going to bring. The Riders look to strike quickly give it up there. But Keller's fighting back for it, gets it back, and finds a nice pass to Jake Ackroyd on top of the box for a shot. Good start to the game for the Riders. How we doing, Lance? Thanks for joining us.
Doing great, Seth. Thanks for having me tonight on Rider Nation Station.
Hopefully you still got a voice after that 30-minute pregame announcement. I don't know if you practiced that beforehand.
Not at all.
No, man. All right. Slight scare there, but the Rough Riders act like they know what they're doing, so I'll give them some credit for that.
Well, this year, Seth, it was a little easier since there were only 3 seniors, but when I've done it in the past for 7 or 8, it'll wear you out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I believe you there. I was struggling up here talking by myself for a few minutes. I'm glad you came to bail me out. Still looking to see what kind of response the Riders have after losing a tough game to Shawnee the other night. See if they come out here with some fire. Nice run from Keller down the line. We'll see his cutbacks there. And a shot just wide there.
Couldn't tell if that was a shot or maybe looking for a triplet on the backside there, but either way, he had a nice angle.
Yep.
Like to see him beating that last defender here early in the game.
Yeah, he likes to play with him a little bit out there, see how many times he can cut back and beat him. Be nice to be able to do that myself, but I don't have those skills.
Well,
glad to see Braden does.
There was a day not that long ago. Yeah, you're right, though, Seth, coming off a tough loss against Shawnee, and the final score of that game did not tell the tale.
Yeah, and that's I told the folks a few minutes ago that exact thing. I honestly thought the Rough Riders at times were the better team, and overall probably a pretty equal match. A 1-1 tie, honestly, would have been probably a good score that would have been fair.
Yeah, I think a 1-1 tie would have felt like a win for us and certainly would have felt like a loss for Shawnee. You got Triplet coming up the left-hand side, taking a look at the goal, side of the net.
The Riders, or Ryan Quatman of Shawnee, I don't know if you guys listened to the broadcast the other night, but Ryan Quatman was not too pleased with the Shawnee's play. He was a little surprised with how they played. Again, he's a former coach, so he has a pretty good pulse of that team. He's seen him play several times, and that wasn't quite what he was expecting. So whatever the Riders did, it worked. So if the Riders do see him in the playoffs or anybody that watches that game, they might have a formula that could help them.
Well, that's a great point that Quatman didn't like it, and maybe Shawnee came in thinking the Riders were going to give him a light night, and they gave him everything but that.
Yeah, that's exactly true. We'll see how Shawnee responds after that game. I'm sure they'll fix some things. They've got a great coaching staff, great players that know the game pretty well. Good through ball from
here
Sidney.
For the Yellow Jackets.
Great recovery by Noah White. Unfortunately, Sidney had that good opportunity, but
we're going to see this on the Larry Schaff Auto Sales instant replay, possibly. See if we got it here. We're always counting on our technical director, Mr. Yelton. Here he goes. Yeah, got a through ball there. Klaus comes out of the net, deflects it a little bit, and then last moment you see Noah White step up, hands down, kind of played keeper right on the line for us.
You love to see him get back. He kind of makes a mistake, lets the defender get past him with the through ball, and instead of giving up, he turns, hustles back, and helps save a goal.
You know, Noah White's only about this wide, Seth, and that's 24 feet of goal, and he picked a great spot to put up a wall there. And Klaus did the right thing coming out on that one.
Yeah.
You see the defender beat. It's got to be, what would you say, instinct. You can't yell at the keeper to come out. He's got to make that decision on his own. He made a good decision there.
Yeah. Hopefully Landon has a good night. I'm sure he's upset about the goal he gave up the other night. Happens. Unfortunately, goalkeepers are the only person on the field typically that can't make any mistakes, because when they do, it means a goal. And everybody looks to them, looks to blame them, but they always forget there's about 5 things that happen before those things. So
yeah, and 10 other guys out there to do their job.
Exactly.
And that was a great point the other night when that big hit came on a slick field, right? They're on the turf, a wet ball. And really what you'd say is, where were your midfielders at? How did they get a big hit like that off on
shouldn't even be able to take a shot like that.
Yep. Here's Keller driving up the near sidelines, looking to center it up or take a shot with a left foot. Just wide of the frame.
I'm not sure the Sidney defender has figured it out yet, but Keller likes to cut back a couple times. So we'll see if he adjusts or if Keller just keeps eating them alive over there.
Yeah, you'll hear one more a lot of times, right? Somebody say one more. That usually means one more pass, but you'll never hear say one more cutback. Once you've got the shot, take it, right?
Yep. Sidney tried to build it out of the back on the goal kick, but the Riders are there to take the ball right away. Still playing around with it. Obviously trying to play some possession. Haven't seen a game like that in a while here at Rough Rider Field. Rough Riders' tendency is to strike quick. Most of the other teams we've been playing lately have been trying to counterattack. But Sidney's got a different playing style here, so we'll see how the Riders adjust to that.
Last touch off the Yellow Jackets, throw coming up for, nope, check that. Last touch off of the Rough Riders, we got a throw in coming up for the Yellow Jackets.
Not such good communication from the Riders there. Stopper and sweeper there. Kraft and White, miscommunication. Hopefully they get that fixed here real quick. Coach is a little upset with the boys. Hopefully they get that straightened out. Got an offside call here, Jake Ackroyd.
I'd say a bit of a rare offsides call. We don't get very many of those, Coach. So used to coaching for so many years, and I guess you still are, but we don't get very many of those. The Rough Riders are very disciplined on flattening out that, trying to get into a seam of the defense, and I think Ackroyd jumped maybe a little early. Probably expected the pass to come, and it didn't come. Maybe a miscommunication there.
Yeah, we'll see. To me, to be honest with you, Lance, the Riders look a little flat to start out tonight. I'm not sure if they're kind of upset about losing to Shawnee, and this is a non-league opponent, so if they're having a hard time getting up for the game, or maybe I'm just misreading it, but it's the way it looks to me. I don't know about you. Yeah,
just a little bit. We'll see if maybe they just, how quickly it can change. Ooh.
Yeah, you put a ball in the back of the net, that can flip pretty quick.
It'll make you feel really, really good fast. So on the Larry Schaff Auto Sales Instant Replay, you see Keller come down the near side, and a really nice cross ball to the head of Holtzapfel, just wide of the frame. We'll see that one again coming up. You'll see Keller again beats the last back, takes a peek, centers it up, and Holtzapfel, boy, just misses that just to the right of the frame. But if you can get that, Seth, that's the life that you're talking about. And I don't think the Yellow Jacks want to see too many of those.
No, but they are letting Keller dominate the side here. So we'll see how many more opportunities he can put some shots and some crosses in like that.
Well, he's turning a run basically into a corner kick by popping one onto a head like that, and that's a dangerous spot for the Yellow Jackets. Good spot for the Riders.
Yeah, and Sidney did not have anybody even close to Vinny to defend there. So
no contact at all, right?
So we'll see if the Riders can get a corner, if that'll be the same thing there. Sidney with thought it was going to be a quick throw in, take advantage of some numbers up, but decided to slow it down. The Rough Riders get behind the ball.
Miller with the throw in here for the Jackets.
Good step from Noah.
Look familiar off of White.
Last touch off the Riders gives Yellow Jackets throw taken by Miller.
Slight push there from 17. Brady needs to be ready for that the next time. Hopefully that's not something you let happen again. Don't want that defender to get behind us.
Yeah, no offsides on the throw-in, right? So he's got all the space he'd like to take on that.
Not much possession there. Just bomb it into the box. Sometimes some funny things can happen and you get a shot opportunity, but the Riders defend it well. See how quick they counter here. Jake making a nice run. Brady's got the ball. Still making his run. He's looking back door for some runs. Sidney defends it well. Sidney going with the long ball. That early game possession is kind of gone for Sidney there. I don't know if they got sick of it and sick of losing the ball in the defensive third, so they're starting to play it long, or it's just maybe a short minute stretch here where they're not doing it anymore. But we got plenty of gaps here. The Riders should find some. Unfortunate ball from Rowan Verbrek, but Vinny made a nice run. Hopefully they can connect on that the next time. Sidney's got huge gaps in their defense. Riders should be running through those holes. Unfortunately, they're running in straight lines right now instead of making diagonal runs.
Well, I like that. Ackroyd put some pressure on the keeper, and it was still a live ball. I think maybe he thought he was going to have possession there, but no whistle.
Riders possessing. Trying to find a through ball. Looks like Keller's offside for the second Rough Rider. Offside.
That's a deep spot to be offsides. Probably was he off and maybe didn't get back on in time for the next touch.
Like, yeah. Not a lot of movement off the ball for the Riders. Good combination from Vinny and Keller. Sidney defender comes in to poke it away at the end.
Yeah, plenty of contact there in the box, but not enough to probably be concerned about. I mean, we always like a call in the box, but nothing there.
Riders are looking a little disorganized on the defense here. It's playing slightly different than they did against Shawnee, so it might take them a few minutes to get readjusted. Jake Ackroyd looking for a shot, but can't get it off. Connor Russ steps to the ball, wins. Calling a foul on Vinny Holtzapfel, sounds like. I'm not sure I saw much there. See how tight refs are going to call it tonight. If that's how tight they're going to call it, it's going to be. We're going to be hearing a lot of whistles. It's going to be a very slow game, very boring game. Hopefully that doesn't happen.
Yeah, I didn't see much there, Seth. I don't know if maybe the hands came up into the face or something, but it looked like direction of ball contact. And Vinny's got a lot of experience. I mean, being a senior, he knows how far to push it.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and you saw that quite a bit in the Shawnee game. He was probably defensively the hardest one out there physically, challenging Shawnee several times.
A couple subs coming in here. I think number 20, Jackson Riley for the Yellow Jackets, and number 28, Reed Cantner for the Rough Riders, checking into the game. Fresh feet of Cantner right on that throw-in. The Yellow Jacket got his toe on it just before Cantner got to it.
Rough Riders are not having a problem getting the ball back. Every time they turn it over, pretty quick to win it back. Heard you talk about that the other night, how the Rough Riders are always trying to get the ball back in 5 seconds or less.
Yes,
and they're definitely doing that tonight.
Yeah, no doubt. There's a freshman Dingledine, instead of sending it out of bounds for a turnover, decides to turn the ball. Really good move, a little bit risky, but a good move. That's a lot for a freshman to make that turn, and he did it successfully.
Good build-up for the Riders there. A couple combination plays on the sideline. I like that they are mixing it up a little bit, not just trying to strike 100 miles an hour tonight. Reed Cantner puts some pressure on the defense, wins the ball. See what kind of action he has off the ball. Not a whole lot of movement again from the Riders. Just the closest guy making movements. The rest of the guys are kind of standing around. So I'd like to see a little bit more movement. If it's my team, I'm going to be barking at the guys that they got to be checking, got to be overlap runs, got to be doing something.
And off the ball, off the ball movement.
Exactly.
So, yes, Seth, you mentioned the Rough Riders' theory of getting that ball back quickly, and I kept saying 5 seconds because that's what we say at the younger levels. And it's really 7 seconds at this level, I think is what they say. 5, 7, whatever the point is when you lose it. Don't drop your head and shoulders. Go get it.
Just hurry up and get the ball back.
Just get the darn thing back, yeah.
Sidney doesn't seem to mind us possessing the ball in their defensive third. It's going to mean the Riders are probably going to get some good opportunities here as the game goes on. Right there's one. A deflection shot, and Keller buries it. Just said it, folks. They're going to let us possess in there. We're going to do dangerous things. Riders are too good for that. And Braden Keller puts the ball in the back of the net.
All right, Cantner starts this off, drops that ball to Holtzapfel. Holtzapfel takes a shot. What looks like a shot may have been a little bit of a miss, and then Keller cleans it up on the backside. So, again, Cantner with the centering ball. Holtzapfel looks like a shot, maybe deflected, and then number 13, the senior, buries it into the back of the net. 1-0 Rough Riders. Yeah, you said it, Seth. Eventually, if we keep it on that third, good things are going to happen for us.
Yep, the Riders got too many goal scorers, too many guys that are going to take advantage of opportunities like that. So Sidney's going to have to either adjust, or it's going to be a pretty high-scoring game for the Riders. The way it's going now, Sidney's turning the ball over in their defensive third, turning the ball over in the midfield, and the Riders are going to capitalize with some quick strikes, and they just showed you they can possess the ball for a few moments, knock it around until a good shot opportunity comes up. So they're going to beat you both ways.
So now, to your point earlier, Seth, looks like Sidney's going with a little more big ball play. they started off with possession ball. Now they've changed their strategy, maybe a call in from the coach.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and again, that's probably because they're not keeping the possession very long in their half.
Well, that's a good point. If you're not possessing it anyways, might as well go with big ball and see what happens.
Yep. But you can tell that's something they want to do, but a quick adjustment by coach there to make sure they don't give up too many easy opportunities. Riders got all kind of space in the midfield here. Sidney's got six guys behind the ball. Tons of space for the Riders to run into, possess the ball, knock it long, look for that quick strike.
Well, so far we have no corner kicks in the game. Each keeper has a save, and Rough Riders with 2 shots on goal, and one of them really did the job.
Got Rowan Verbright with the ball, turns it over. I think Rowan maybe got his first varsity start tonight. I might have missed something earlier in the season, but he is not usually in the starting lineup, but had a pretty good game the other night.
Yeah, freshman, Verbright. Right now the Riders have 3 freshmen on the field. 2 of them started. You got Brady Dingledine, Reed Cantner, and, of course, Rowan that we were just talking about. Here's Keller down the near side and deflected out by the Yellow Jackets. Yeah, Verbright's seen a lot of varsity minutes. Dingledine's seen a lot of varsity minutes and started. And that's always a good sign if you got freshmen working in the game. Checking in for the Yellow Jackets, number 5, Grant Hemmert. And I think returning to the game, number 17, Yosuf Dia.
Another great cross in from Braden Keller. Vinny Holtzapfel there. Keeper gets a touch on it, out for a corner. Great ball. Great header from Vinny. Good luck for the Raiders.
So this is our first corner kick. Ross is going to be stepping up here to take the corner. Ross is strong left foot or right foot, so he can take it from either side.
Looks like it's going to be an in-swinging ball here. Look to go short, which the way Sidney's defending some of those crosses, I definitely want to get a ball in there like that. Sidney has not won a single ball that we've put in there yet, so I would be feeding that ball in there as much as possible.
Even direct from the corner. I'm sure Coach called the short corner, but to your point, either get it into the middle off the corner or very quickly like what they did there. That corner came off of a throw-in to a centering and then just a header, right? Deflected off the keeper over the goal. See if we got a deflection here. I think we got a goal kick coming up.
Yep, good setup there, but doesn't quite catch it the way he wants to.
Returning to the game for the Rough Riders, number 8, Jake Ackroyd.
Sidney going to try to build it out of the back. They like to do this on goal kicks. Very dangerous. Possible foul there on Jake, but they didn't call it, so we're all right. Riders win the ball in the attacking third once again. See what kind of build-up they can get here.
Yep, Ross to Ackroyd. Ackroyd looking to the center to Holtzapfel. Holtzapfel out to Keller. Keller's working 1-on-1, 2-on-1, back to Holtzapfel. Here comes a shot.
It's good ball movement. Just like to see a little bit of better opportunity from that. Got a couple guys moving off the ball a little bit better. Jake Ackroyd, I always notice he moves off the ball. Like to see a couple other guys create something.
Yeah, great point. You rarely ever see Ackroyd sitting still.
Yep, and that's what you really want from your striker. I mean, honestly, you want it from everybody, but your striker especially needs to be moving.
Moving without the ball.
See what kind of run. Nobody's making that run. Somebody's got to make that run towards the corner so Keller can just turn and play an easy ball to the corner. Everybody's running to the middle of the field instead. Nice throw by Keller. Reed He's definitely got his man's body out here tonight. At the beginning of the year, he was getting pushed around, but he's had enough of that. He's going to be doing the pushing a little bit on himself. Nice ball from Vinny Holtzapfel. A nice cutback from Keller. Surprise, surprise.
Boy, Keller, one more turn there. All right, let's check it out on the Larry Schaff Auto Sales. Holtzapfel, unselfish play. Keller with one more turnover, and boy, the foot save for the Yellow Jackets keeper.
Think he plays hockey? Sidney has a hockey team, don't they?
Well, if they don't, they need to get one and hire him to be the goalie for them. So that results in a corner kick. Ross is taking it from the other side now. Let's see what the play is. Looks like a long corner. To the header, close to Rust. Ackroyd back centering it up. And Sidney escapes that one for now.
Sidney Stryker comes back to try to win the ball. Doesn't quite get there. The Riders get it back pretty quick. But a costly turnover here in the midfield. Sidney's got numbers up. Klaus comes out for a nice clear, very smart play on his part. And the Riders got possession back.
Boy, Klaus picked a perfect spot to pick that up right in the corner of the box. Here you go, Keller heading down the right-hand side of the field. Looks like a shot.
Yep.
Deflected
That is the
kick.
notice the giant gap there. Jake was able to find it this time. Those gaps, Sidney's been giving them to him all night, so glad to see the Riders take advantage. Not too often you see Braden Keller get chased down. Sidney's got some speed there.
They may have switched up who was heading down there since he beat the last 3 times. He's beat the last corner. Ross with the corner kick, centers it up. Sidney with first touch, should be a throw-in, Rough Riders. Yep, sure is. Ross with the throw-in. On to the freshman foot, Dingledine back to Ross. Ross looking, making decisions, Holtzapfel one-on-one, and Sidney probably smartly clears it out to defend the throw-in. Couple players checking in for the Rough Riders. Return of the game for the Rough Riders, number 23, Rowan Verbeek, and seeing action for the first time tonight for the Rough Riders, number 18, Caden Niergarter. So Keller gets a break, probably not very long, but a couple-minute break, and Cantner gets a break.
Yeah, that's always an interesting thing for coach to decide. Keller clearly one of the Riders' top players. It's always a hard decision to pull your top players off the field. Some coaches like to keep them out. Another offside by Jake Ackroyd. Looked like a good run, though.
Really nice pass.
But hard decision for coaches to make. You know, do you leave your top guys in there the whole game so any opportunity that comes, they're there, or give them some fresh, give them a little break so they can come out there a little fresh every once in a while?
Well, what I always wish I had, Seth, is a little meter like in a video game, and I could look at the player and tell what their energy is, because if you ask them, they're always going to say, I'm good, coach. But then you see them make a little miss, and that's how you know that they're probably tired. I think we just got another offsides against the Rough Riders. The last one for Ackroyd was really close. This next one that just happened might have been Niergarter. I didn't really get a good look at where he started that run from.
Yeah, you'll notice Sidney's able to draw the Riders offside because they're playing a flat back 4 here, and they're very disciplined, playing very flat. Not pushing up super high, but Rough Riders aren't quite seeing when they do push up, so catching themselves offsides too many times.
Got a good point. They're really disciplined with a flat back line. Here's a Yellow Jackets with a run with a through ball. Possible opportunity. Grabbed by Klaus and held by Klaus.
Definitely not what you want to see coming through the middle of the field there.
Nope.
Riders.
Nope, that's the second time that's happened,
yes,
Seth,
exactly.
where they've been able to break through our backs on a through ball, which is something you don't see very often against our defense. It's usually a different angle of attack. A couple of Yellow Jackets entering the game here. Number 34, Landon Ludwig. And I think also coming to the game, number 22, Lucas Edwards, with the throw-in.
Be interesting to see if the Riders adjust defensively. Seeing that happen twice, definitely a problem. Something you want to get fixed now, especially as the Riders are only up 1-0. Don't want to give Sidney a goal when they've really only had a couple attacks.
Well, Sidney's had 2 really good chances for goals. One saved by White, and the last one saved by Klaus. Could easily be 2-1 right now. So they're going to have to fix that through ball.
Yeah, and to be honest, those are the only 2 opportunities they've had. So you really hate to see the Riders dominate and still not lead, still not win.
And those are 2 really good opportunities for the Yellow Jackets. Returning to the game just a moment ago during the throw-in, number 13, Keller, and number 16, Triplett, back into the game. And a moment ago we had a penalty, Seth. I think it was on Ackroyd. Wasn't much contact, but referee saw something we didn't see.
Connor Russ makes a run up the field, draws a corner. Now we did see Brady Triplett step back and play some defense against Shawnee the other night. Probably a pretty good adjustment for the opponent tonight. Early on, he's kind of been bouncing around a little bit. Not sure if he dropped back there to cover for Connor or if he's going to play some defense again tonight.
So the corner from Ross, touched by Sidney first. Ross, nice hot shot on the keeper. I think was that a deflection
looks
off
like
the keeper with another
yeah,
corner
looks like
coming
another
up?
corner. Tough angle for Will, but takes a shot and nearly pays off. That's how Shawnee scored the first goal the other night. Tough angle from the side.
Looks like Triplet taking the corner on this one. And we'll see what kind of angle attack they choose on this corner kick.
It's a couple straight corners now where ball really hasn't been won by anybody.
No,
ball just kind of falls to, whoever it goes to. Nobody's really attacking the ball. I think the Riders have a good chance to get some good shots on these corners, but not taking advantage. I'd like to see them get in on those a little bit better.
It's terrifying for the defense when the ball hits the ground on a corner kick. You really want somebody to get a hold of it quickly.
Sidney plays it long out of the back that time. I think they're tired of turning it over in their defensive third. So the ball gets up to midfield now.
A couple players checking in for the Jackets.
Subbing in for the Yellow Jackets, number 30.
Number 32, Elijah Miller. And number 30 coming in for him, and I might be missing something, but I don't see anything on the roster. So anyway, number 30 checking in for the Jackets. And some of the numbers on the board that we see so far, we got the Rough Riders with 7 shots on goal. The Yellow Jackets with, it shows 1 on the board, but I think they've got 2. 1 saved by White and the other saved by Klaus. And then 3 saves for the Jackets, 2 for the Rough Riders. But here's the big story of the game so far, Seth. 5 corner kicks for the Rough Riders and 0 for the Yellow Jackets.
Yep, and unfortunately the Riders haven't done anything dangerous with them. Kind of a theme I've seen this year. He's offside. There we go.
First offsides for the Yellow Jackets.
But corner kicks are probably something the Riders need to maybe spend some extra time, and maybe they are. I'm not at the practices, but definitely something that they're not taking advantage of. They've been getting in every game I've seen this season against what I would call lesser opponents, and I would call Sidney that tonight. I think they have a chance to take advantage of the corners, and they're just not.
They're certainly getting them, which is that's the first thing. Get the corners. Next thing is do something with them.
Yeah, you've seen them mix it up a little bit. They did one short one tonight.
4 long.
Played several long ones, so hopefully they keep mixing it up, see what kind of opportunities they can get.
Of course, if the Yellow Jackets give this many corners away each night, they're probably getting really good at stopping them from getting in the goal. Not a great skill that you want to have.
Yep.
You want to prevent the corner, not stop the goal. You got Ackroyd working up the far side to Holtzapfel. Holtzapfel sees Verbright coming up the middle. Verbright takes a shot, deflected off of Sidney. On the foot of Dingledine, no deflection. He is calling a deflection. Got another corner kick coming up. All right, all that stuff you've been talking about, Seth, let's pay it off right here.
Yep.
It's time.
And we're not expecting the Riders to score on every single corner, but you definitely, you get 5 of them. Here's number 6. You expect to see one at least be put on frame, and the boys do, which is nice to see from Vinny Holtzapfel. Ball bounces around.
Yep, still in the box.
Sidney can't clear the ball. Vinny Holtzapfel wins the ball. Still not out. See if the Riders get another chance at it. Goes out for a throw-in.
Much better. Much better. So we had a corner to the header on frame. Keeper had to go to work on that one. That's what you want to see.
Huge toss there from Brady Triplet. Again, Riders do not get a solid touch on the ball.
Yeah, Triplet with the wind at his back turned that throw-in into a corner. I like that.
St. Mary's still one taken by Rust.
Rust with the throw-in onto the foot of Holtzapfel. Holtzapfel looking to the middle of the field. Turns that one into a bit of a corner kick. Keller coming down on the near side quickly to keep it from going out of bounds. And centers it back up, keeping it hot into the hands of the keeper.
I was fully prepared for Jake to do a bicycle there on that. I was kind of getting excited, but he does get ahead on the ball, so that's good.
I haven't seen too many bicycles. I mean, you've done it. It hurts. But it feels a lot better if it goes in the back of the net.
Yeah, tough to get that timing up. Definitely sometimes dangerous there, just like this play. Offside there from Triplet. Keeper comes out to make the save and maybe gets a piece of Brady, but already an offsides call. Hopefully Brady's able to get up and get back into this.
Now, if that wasn't offsides, that keeper didn't even sniff the ball on that one. He just took the player out. I've seen it. I mean, you remember Corey Nelson?
Yeah.
I've never seen a goalie get carded more than Nelson did. A play like that, if that wasn't offsides, I wonder if that would have been a PK.
Well, and the interesting thing is, I believe Brady touched the ball, and it actually was a long touch, and it might have rolled out of bounds. And there are some refs that'll say, yeah, the keeper came out and fouled the guy, but the player had already made that touch. He would not have been able to get to that ball and score. I've seen that called before both ways as Brady gets back into the box with the ball.
Boy, that would be frustrating, but I understand.
Yeah, so sometimes it's not always about the actual foul. Sometimes it's where's the ball, what's the ball doing. Yeah.
Boy, Holtzap was just not giving up here, taking on one defender, then two.
Great ball played in there.
Up into the back of the net.
Maybe Jake Ackroyd got a touch on that. Kind of hard to tell from our angle.
We'll
see if the camera's got a better one.
See the work over here. And the ball gets centered up here by Triplett. A nice low ball. Ackroyd, off the foot Ackroyd. Looks like a triplet to Ackroyd. Maybe off the left foot of Triplett. Yep. And then just off the toe of Ackroyd. Deflects it. And that's what you want to see, Seth. Don't go straight at the keeper. Get into his backside, his side mirror, and he didn't have a chance there.
Yep, and you'll notice Jake stepped in front of the defender there to kind of seal him off. That way he could get that first touch instead of the Sidney defender. It's a great move by him. Always moving off the ball. Glad to see him put one in the back of the net.
As you were saying, Ackroyd's a player that's always moving without the ball.
All right, hopefully the Riders don't let up. I'd like to see them kind of put their foot on throat and put some teams away. I haven't seen it in several weeks from the Riders. Definitely something you want them to do as we get further into the season. You want to be able to rest some guys, get some younger guys some minutes.
Boy, there's Ross. Master pickpocket in the middle of the field. Does it again. Turns that ball up to Keller.
Now they're offside.
And, I guess we'll see in the second half. The referee on our side loves the offsides call. Maybe he gets a little bonus each time he calls an offsides. I think Keller probably felt like he was shoulder to shoulder on that one, and maybe he released a little early. Again, we don't have the angle the referee has.
Yep. That, or he just doesn't want to run tonight, and he thought, man, if I call offside, then I don't have to run down the field. I can just stand here.
I go 25 yards at a time.
No, I'm sure that's Roger down there. Roger's a great ref. He's been doing it for years. He's one of the ref assigners. He helps make sure all of our teams have games, or referees for the games. So big shout out to him.
Certainly knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean we can't give him a hard time, though, a little bit, right?
Yeah, he actually is given 2 red cards. And when I coached high school, he gave out 2 red cards to my players, one to my goalie and one to my striker. And so there was a few years there that him and I didn't see eye to eye, but I've moved on. I'm sure he has, as he's probably done 1,000 games since. So.
Yeah, I hate to give this away on air for anybody that doesn't know this, but I'm shocked that you got into an altercation with a referee. Just got to say it, Seth.
Jake, just remember, it wasn't me that got the red card. It was my players. I was calm, cool, and collected. You know how I am on the sideline.
You didn't get a card.
I didn't even say a word.
Yeah, you didn't get a card that game.
Yeah. Good point. I saw how easily he was handing out the reds and knew just to keep my mouth shut.
The one time, yeah. Yeah, I think my favorite was a U6 game at Cook. You got it sideways with the referee early in the
game. I don't think it was that young, but you're probably pretty accurate.
Yeah, I'm not off by much. Checking back into for the Yellow Jackets, number 5, Grant Hemmert returned to the game. They tried to get another one in off the sidelines, but didn't get time to get him in. Well, with 7:07 left in the half, Rough Riders up 2-0, and Seth, you pointed out they had a bit of a slow start, but since then they're finding the angles. There's a run here right now with Cantner working hard up front. And the Riders are not letting the Jackets out of this one easily.
Hunter Winget fighting for the ball there. Doesn't quite make it in. Doesn't quite get a shot off, but a lot of fight in there. Love to see that from the boys. See if they can get another shot opportunity. Vinny takes it. Nice save from the keeper.
Keeping him busy back there. We like to keep our keepers bored, and in this case, Yellow Jackets keepers open for business.
Good step there from Lincoln Waterman. All right, Riders got a good chance as long as they're on side. Nice An easy
deflected
off
off the post.
Unfortunate there for the Riders. That was a great opportunity, great build-up. Another quick strike from the Riders. Sidney will try to counter here. They do have some numbers. Rough Riders trying to drop back. Will Ross is able to slow him down, and doesn't quite get the ball. Pretty big gaps here between the offense and the defense for Sidney. Referee's going to guess a goal kick, and I'll take that guess. Sometimes as a referee, you just guess because you didn't see it. Sometimes fans, coaches, parents, players get mad at that, but sometimes the refs miss things.
Well, and he's far away. I mean, he's
exactly.
50, 60 yards from that ball. A little shadow. You get light, you get shadow. A big part of it is, and you've probably seen this, Seth, how do the players react? Like, who was the last one to really run after it?
Yep.
And if the Yellow Jackets ran after it, it probably tells them it's a goal kick.
Yeah, and as many games as I've ref myself, there are times where I will watch the players' reaction and
see what they do.
See what they do and make the call that way. So, any young players out there, just go grab the ball, and maybe the ref will give you the call. If he doesn't, you put it down and you move on. But
yeah, you look really guilty if you chase it to the end line and then you don't get to it. Riders looking to center it up again. Stopped by the Jackets on this run. Center ball to the middle of the field.
And Sidney's got some numbers up. They've got some space. But they do not keep the ball, unfortunately. That was a good opportunity for them. And they've had a few good opportunities. I'd like to see the Riders maybe drop back one of the midfielders, play a little bit defensive mid. Seems to be when we win the ball, they're all running forward, getting into the attack.
They had numbers, they had space, but we had Noah White on that one to stop them. I may have missed this a moment ago that Waterman checked into the game, and but obviously he's been in here for just a little bit.
Lance, you brought up that the referee was far away from that last play, and Dave and Ryan talked about it the other night at the Shawnee game. That is kind of the pitfalls of a two-man referee system. You don't really have an opportunity to be as close as you want to be on all the plays. Normally in a three-man, your center ref would have been close to that ball, and then your two ARs would be on the sidelines running up and down, following kind of that last defender.
Yeah, cutting that distance in half between the far side referee and the ball, like in the case of the one on our near side. Do they ever run a three ref crew for high school? Seems like I always see two.
Down in Dayton, the bigger cities, they typically run a three-man whenever they can. That's always their goal. Every once in a while they have to do a two-man. But usually the three-man, and then in the playoffs, as you get deeper in the playoffs, pretty much every single sectional and beyond game is going to have, or district and beyond game is going to be a three-man crew, yeah. And
Sidney's got a chance here off the post and gathered up by Klaus.
Yep. And really the two-man system comes as just because there's a lack of referees. So
sure, yep, of course. See the replay on this one. Rust was working hard down there. Yellow Jacket takes it, pokes it off the post with the side of the foot, then Klaus is able to gather that up. That's a dangerous ball because that post is round, the ball's round, could go any direction.
Yeah, and you hate to see the Riders giving up so many good opportunities to Sidney, especially because we've only got the 2-0 lead, and this could easily be cut in half here with a goal late here in the first half.
Yeah, 2-0 is too close to 2-1.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure Sidney's coach is telling him that, saying, listen, you're one goal away from one goal away. Mm-hmm. Get that one, cut it in half, and go from there.
Yeah.
Klaus with really sure hands tonight. He had that one that skipped up into the post, but like that last one, looks easy from here, right, Seth? But when it's deflecting off the post, a lot to think about, and Klaus clamps his hands on that one.
Yeah, you'll want to see the Riders make some adjustments at halftime, shore up the defense. It's a little leaky right now.
Yeah, keep it off that 1/3. Just under 2 minutes and a half, Rough Riders up 2-0. You can see by the stats on the scoreboard here at Rough Rider Field, we've got 11 shots, and Yellow Jackets only have 2. Maybe that last one off the post might be considered number 3. And Klaus has got 3 saves. Yellow Jackets keeper's got 4 saves. But the real story, again, is the corner kicks. Lots of them for the Rough Riders.
Now, you can't quite see it on camera, but Sidney has a midfielder here or an attacker sitting up here in a gap behind all of the Riders' midfielders. So every time...
There we go. Yep. One more.
when you put it in the back of the net, it doesn't matter where he stands because he's not getting the ball. But you will notice that every time Sidney gets the ball, they're looking for him, and that's how they've been able to counterattack here these last couple of times.
We're going to see this replay a couple times on the Larry Schaff Auto Sales instant replay. You'll see that ball bounces around a little bit and then ends up out there on the foot of Holtzapfel. Verbeek's working it down low. Holtzapfel sees an opportunity here with the left foot, goes to the far side of the net, 3-0 Rough Riders.
And not a single Sidney player stepped to him, so Vinny had all the time in the world to take a touch, set up a shot the way he wanted.
You know, it's funny, Seth, just as you were talking about that, watching the guy from the Yellow Jackets standing right in the middle of the field, all he's covering is green grass. And I'm sure you'd say the same thing every other coach say, cover blue.
Yeah.
Don't cover green. And if you can read his number, you're not covering him. He's open.
Riders looking to get one more here. Just with a minute left. Like to see that pressure. Again, we've got a big gap between the offense and the defense here. They've got 33 sitting in that hole if Sidney does come out with it. But again, doesn't matter.
Back, Holtzapfel. Wow, at the 50-second mark, striking very quickly back to back.
I think I'm going to keep talking about 33 in the middle because every time I mention him, Vinny scores a goal. So
you got Holtzapfel working on the left-hand side here. We see it on the replay and goes left foot to the right side of the net on the Larry Schaff Auto Sales instant replay. The one thing I didn't catch on that one was the assist. I know Holtzapfel had the goal, but I'm not sure who had that touch before that. Maybe it was too long to really count as an assist.
I would count that as an assist for Vinny just because he did all the work to get it in.
He carried the ball for long enough. He probably would. The last touch would have been way too early. So we got 42 seconds left in the half. Rough Riders with a slow start really turned on the steam here in the last few minutes. Jackets taking a run against Waterman here on the near side. Waterman working him. And Waterman deflected off of the Yellow Jackets, so throw in for the Rough Riders here in that one.
You know, I think my favorite part about those two goals from Vinny, I think, and I may have missed it, but I think this first one was right-footed and the second one was left-footed. And that's something you see nowadays from some of the top players, just as strong with both of their feet. Back in my day, my left foot might as well have not been there. So glad to see that these younger players are developing both of their legs so they can do things like that.
That's a great point, Seth. So after 40 minutes of play, the Rough Riders are on top 4-0. We're going to take a little break here and be able to listen to the Rough Rider Band and also thank our sponsors.
Albert Sporting Goods, American Legion Post 323, All Glaze Equipment Rental, Capabilities, David Wabacher Attorney, Eagles 767, FCA, Fowler's TV, Freedom Marketing Strategies, Grand Lake Roofing, Guarneri's Pizzeria, Jackalope Stash, Larry Schaff Auto Sales, Laura Yelton State Farm, MHS Alumni Foundation, Miller Funeral Homes, Minster Bank, Plus One Professional Real Estate, Ryder Rooters, Roots Pub, St. Mary's Foundry, Sean Barnett Electrical, Spees Chiropractic and Wellness Center, Spring Street Storage, TSC, and Varsity Lanes.
All right, we're back live here at beautiful Rough Rider Field with a matchup between the Sidney Yellow Jackets and your St. Mary's Memorial Rough Riders. After 40 minutes of play, Rough Riders are on the scoreboard 4-0 over the Yellow Jackets. And we had a special night tonight, Seth, before we got started. We had senior night. We got 3 seniors here for the Rough Riders. We got number 3, Connor Rust, and number 7, Vincent Holtzapfel, and number 13, Braden Keller. So we're sending our seniors off, the 3 seniors, and they've been a big part of this season. You were mentioned earlier in the game, the speed of the players, the physical nature, of course, and the experience of the seniors. And I think they've been playing for each one 12, 13 years of soccer.
I remember seeing them all play when they were younger.
Yeah,
lots of experience, lots of games in. You don't get to their skill level without putting in that time, and that's not only in a team format, but that's also individual work that I'm sure they did over the years at home.
Yeah, and I mean, how many times have you told your players, I'm only getting you for a few hours a week. You got to do something at home too.
Yep, and you'll find that the best players put that time in over and over and over every day. And you're not gonna do that every year of your life. You're gonna get burnt out from here and there, but you'll find that those players end up back outside kicking that ball back in the net, working on their juggling, working on all those other little skills.
Yeah, making the parents crazy with a ball on their foot all the time inside the house. And that really goes for every sport. Even at the high school level, you're getting the players for, about 8 to 10 hours a week.
Yeah, and Keller with a nice cut back there, finds Vinny. Oh, another kick save from the goalie.
Wow. It almost looked like he slipped.
Yeah, that I was walking through that box earlier on my way over here, and
a little muddy.
It is not looking great. It's probably about as good as it can be after these last couple of days of rain, but not great for goalkeeping. A little leave there for the back post run from Keller, out for a corner.
So that was good communication there. Either Holtzapfel knew Keller was back there, or he chirped, let him know, and left that ball go past him, which can really be a surprise for the defense. Big surprise for the goalkeeper.
Yeah. Well, and that's something, playing with each other forever. Vinny and Keller have played with each other forever, and that's the kind of communication that you get from that. Sidney looking to go long. Been what they've been doing for the last about 30 minutes of the game.
Yeah, it was the first few minutes. They were playing possession ball, small ball, big ball since then. Really hasn't paid off for them yet. But the Rough Rider goals came back-to-back pretty quickly at the end there by Holtzapfel into the first half. Up until then, it was only 2-0 for most of the half.
Yeah. So hopefully the Riders can put a couple more, put this game away. These are the type of games. Keeper comes out, nice save. These are the type of games that, when you get up 4, 5, 6 goals, that's when I usually experiment a little bit with my teams, move some guys around that I've been thinking about, playing different positions, maybe different formations, kind of see, how things work. We'll see if the Riders do that at all tonight, but first they got to put the game away. Sidney with their high line. We got a great view. We had a great view, and so did the coaches here. I'm not sure that was the correct call, but...
Now, that time, we had a great view. You and I had the best view because we're sitting on top of the field here, but Sampson saw something a little bit different than we did. Maybe Triplet might have broke just a little bit early, but it was shoulder to shoulder from what I saw.
Yeah, and understand, folks, offside is not an easy thing to call because it's when the ball is played. So if, as a referee, if I'm staring at the ball and waiting and looking at the ball, the second that ball is kicked, I also have to be able to see where the last defender is and where the guy making the run is. That's not an easy thing to do. So you'll see a lot of experienced refs watching, and you can see the body position of the guy with the ball, and, it looks like he's about to play the ball. So you turn your head and you watch. Got an injury here. But you turn your head and you watch the guy making the run instead of actually watching the ball get kicked. And that's a hard skill for refs to develop. But that is what the experienced refs do.
So we got a short pause here. We had a Yellow Jacket on the field. Looked like he was injured. Now he is up already. and moving toward the sidelines. But, it's a great point, Seth. The referee has to have eyes that can go in two different directions, one watching the hit, one watching the line. And what makes it even tougher, this is tough for fans to understand, it's not the player that's next to you that's setting the back line necessarily. It may be a player 40, 50 yards away. So the referee's watching you and your man shoulder to shoulder, but he's seeing if you break the plane. Because to your point, the Sidney Yellow Jackets have set a really flat back line. If they don't, we could get into a seam, and it's hard for the referee to tell that. The other thing is they always delay the call a little bit, which is the right thing to do. See how it plays out. Makes the parents crazy, though.
They do that because sometimes you'll see another player make a similar run. As we have another long ball here, this one is clearly outside. But sometimes you see a second player make the same run, and they're not offside, and if they get the ball and they get the touch, then it's fine. Get a shot from Will Ross. He wants a deflection, and he gives it to him.
He does get it. So off the left foot of Ross to the left side of the frame. Gets a deflection. Another corner kick coming up for the Riders. This will be, I think, number 8 for the Rough Riders.
Shot by Will Ross.
Now's the time that you were talking about, Seth, to maybe try some different things, a little different lineup. Maybe they try a little different formation on this corner.
Whatever
it was, it paid off.
See it, yeah.
Yep, over the top of the frame. That's terrifying for the other team, for the coach. It doesn't always have to go in to really tell you something about what might be coming your way.
Yeah. Well, and time after time we've seen Sidney does not have any interest in winning the ball on corners or crosses. They're just going to let St. Mary's win the ball if they want to, and the Riders haven't quite taken advantage yet, but if they keep letting us do it, I'm sure we'll find one.
Yeah, if we keep getting first touch off the corners, eventually something's going to – or a shot like that off of Verbeek.
Keller plays the ball in. Don't quite have anybody backside. Would have liked to see Brady Dingledine make that run up there. He's here now for support. Riders willing to play some possession a little bit.
Oh, nice ball by Dingledine. Turns it up the middle. Everybody's on sides. Ackroyd, back of the net.
Once again, Jake Ackroyd making some movement off the ball. Creates an easy scoring opportunity. He makes it look easy with the work he puts in before the ball's played.
We're going to check this a couple times on the Larry Schaff Auto Sales instant replay. See where this starts off the foot of Dingledine.
Already moving
Quick
right there.
Touch, yep, for Holtzapfel. Ackroyd moves and stays onside, and just he's got an option. He can go short side or long side. Either choice would have been good. He went long side on that one. So I think Holtzapfel gets the credit for the assist on that one, but Dingledine's the one that really got that play started.
Yeah, that was a great ball. A great kind of switch from him to the middle or the other side of the field. Sometimes if you play around with the ball like the Riders were, possessing it a little bit, you can catch the defense asleep on the backside.
Yeah, and I think they probably expected Holtzapfel to do something with that ball, probably turn it right to the net, but unselfish play created that one. Jackets taking a little bit of a run, surrounded by a lot of Rough Riders.
Oh, man goes down in the box.
Yeah,
maybe
after the ball was gone, I think.
Yeah, maybe selling it a little bit. Yeah, Brady's not going to get away with that one. He was using his body, but he might have leaned a little bit too much there.
Yeah, I think he got caught maybe going the opposite direction of the ball. So, some contact, or would you say a lot of contact in direction of the ball. But if you're going opposite direction of the ball, it's probably going to call it pretty fast. And, again, you got a very experienced referee over here. He saw what was going on before it even happened.
Yep, he's seen that play 100 times. You're not going to get much past him.
Yep.
Sidney trying to get a shot.
Working for an opportunity there, but nothing.
Good counterattack here. Play him in right away. Good timing. Good ball. Absolutely beautiful. Let's see if Keller can bury it. Yeah.
One more touch, one more turn.
Not a bad cutback. Would have liked to see him take that initial hit. He had some space, but he enjoys the cutback, and he does find a good ball with it, so it's fine. That was a great pass by Jake Ackroyd. You'll notice Keller started his run about 15 seconds before he got the ball. Dead sprint. He saw the opportunity, and luckily he's fast enough to run past the defense.
Well, and Ackroyd timed that pass perfectly, because if he delays it all, Keller's offsides. Yeah, good work by the ball boys on the side of the field. Just a reminder, they're always on the side of Rough Rider Field to keep the action going. And I think on the near side to you and I, Seth, we've got Jed Spray whose older brother plays for the Rough Riders. On the far side, I think Colton Niergarter, whose brother plays for the Rough Riders as well. And, of course, you know this, being a former player, the ball boy can never get the ball there fast enough, especially if you're behind. If your team's behind, they're looking to get that ball, and sometimes you'll see maybe 2 on each sideline. In this case, we got 1, so these boys got to get 18 to 18 very quickly.
Yeah, in college games, not too often did we have ball boys that understood soccer. They would pick out some random students from it was kind of a job. They got paid to do it, but they were not athletes. They were not soccer players, and so they really didn't understand who to give the ball to, when to give it, and so it was very frustrating in tight games.
Ross with a corner here, puts it towards the top of the 18, looking at Verbeek's head again. Dingledine chasing it down, see if he can keep it in the third here.
Sidney does have a man sitting up here, wide open if they are able to get the ball out, but the Riders work hard to make that not happen.
Verbeek out to Ross. Ross looking for options, drops it to Rust. Rust looking for options, taking his time. Good possession ball here to White. White also looking for options to Ackroyd. Riders are not playing keep away here. They're just looking for a good angle of attack. Still got possession. Rust on the far side. Looking at Keller. Jackets break it up, but the Rough Riders are not giving up. Foot of Verbeek over to Holtzapfel. Holtzapfel gets a nice one in the back. No call. Jackets are going to try to clear it out of here after that one.
Yeah, and that's frustrating as a player. Shoulder to shoulder, no problem. But when somebody comes through and hits you in the back, you can't defend yourself, and that's usually a call every time. Ref might not have had the best view of it.
I'd say maybe not best view, or maybe, I don't know, I hate to say this, but it could be 5-0, and you're looking for something pretty extreme. You just don't want anybody getting hurt.
Yeah, and as a ref myself, I definitely look at the score when I make calls. I'm not going to give the team that's winning too many easy chances. I'm going to help out the weaker team a little bit more than I am the strong team. So.
And you and I both done it as coaches. When a call, let's say that was a soft one, and it goes against you, you'd say, "Hey, to have some awareness of the game. Yeah. We're losing 20-0 here. Give us a little bit." But you can't have an injury. Boy, Triple got a good opportunity up the middle here.
Yeah, the Riders are getting some great looks. They're finding the gaps in this Sidney back four. Like to see him put a couple more of these away. Really extend that lead. I'd love to see some of the younger guys get into the game tonight. Some guys I haven't seen play too much.
Yeah, and I'm sure they'll get a chance, right? We're just under 30 minutes here, so I'm sure we'll probably see some guys checking in. But it's a nice hot shot over the frames. We'll have a goal kick coming up for the Yellow Jackets. Checking back in for the Yellow Jackets, number 20, Jackson Riley. Number 33, Zach Ambrose. In return of the game for the Rough Riders up front, number 28, the freshman, Reed Kantner. Yeah, were you the one that says this whole thing is just a warm-up for the postseason?
With non-league games, me personally, I like to mess around a little bit, see some different looks, see some different things. Obviously, I want to win non-league games, but in reality, it really doesn't mean much. So really looking to try some things. This is a good game to try some things on corners, especially for the Rough Riders, the way they've played corners this year.
Good opportunity to try some different ones. Boy, that last run, Seth, might have been a good example of trying something a little bit different. Holtzapfel goes to Keller. Keller pops it up to the head of Kantner. Kantner had a good shot on that backside. That's a very creative move instead of just trying to pound it through the keeper.
Yeah. Yeah, and these are the games where I'd probably play some guys in some different positions. If I'm not quite sure, this is the lineup I want to run in the playoffs, or this is the lineup, what do we got, Kenton on Monday? Mm-hmm. So, how are you going to play Kenton? This is a good game to game plan for that, play the way you're going to play against them. Even if Sidney's not similar to Kenton, you still can work on some things. Keeper comes out, makes a nice stop here. Hopefully Connor Russ is okay.
Looks like he's bouncing back up. Yeah, the keeper came out, upended him, didn't have a lot of options. If he had left it, Rust would have probably put that in the back of the net.
Crucial win for Cohen Kraft there. If if Sidney gets that ball, we're in big trouble. Defensively, the Riders are scaring me a little bit tonight against Sidney. It's okay, but you play some of the more experienced teams. They're going to make us pay for some of these. Reed Cantner looking to make a run to the corner.
Holtzapfel onside. Keeper makes a good decision to come out and meet Holtzapfel outside the top of the box. But the Rough Riders still got the pressure on with Cantner working the ball. Left foot to the far side.
Oh, wow. It's a quick slide in there from Keller. I thought that was going out or the keeper was going to get it, but Keller is flying in there.
We're going to check this on the Larry Schaff Auto Sales instant replay. Cantner working up the middle and sends it to the far post. You'd think the keeper's going to get it easy, but boy, Keller beats him there. We're going to see this one more time. Cantner beats number 13, and then with the left foot, looks like a shot. Turns out to be almost a great assisted pass. And I don't know if the keeper came out a little slower, but Keller was coming in hot.
Yeah, and you love to see how he never gives up on a play.
Never gives up, always in the keeper's face. Follow your shot, follow the other guy's shot, right? Seth, I want to go back to that creative play just a moment ago when Holtzapfel went to Keller, and Keller, instead of the shot, put that header on the backside for Reed Cantner. I'm thinking back to the Salina game. We could not get the ball past the keeper.
Yep.
It got to the point where any kind of frontal attack wasn't going to work. But Keller's got his defender beat here, drops it down to Triplet, left foot to the back of the net.
Which is unfortunate because if you saw the referee's position, he was not in the great spot to see that. There is a good chance that he was offside, but referee, look where the referee is here.
Let's check this out here and see. You see he beats him, but what about the defender that's on Keller?
I was going to say
right?
that ball when he plays it, Brady is even with Keller.
Yeah,
so watch here.
Yep, you see Keller beats his guy.
You can see the line
behind him. I think maybe Triplet was past his defender, but we were saying earlier, was he past Keller's defender?
Yeah, well, and he wasn't even past Keller.
And he wasn't past Keller.
So he can't be offside in that position.
Yeah, once Keller beat his guy, Keller's the guy, right?
Yep.
Can't be past him.
And that's kind of the tough things with referees. Now, this guy seems young and able to move. He just wasn't on that one. But as referees get older, they're less mobile, and they can't be in the perfect position that you want them to be. And so that's what makes it a little bit hard. Not sure his excuse on that one, but that's a tough one, especially because that was a pretty goal.
Yeah, fortunately for us at this point it doesn't matter, but in a situation of a 1-0 game or a 2-1, and the referee can't keep up with our players like that, that's a bad deal. He can't see that angle, or he can't see from that angle.
Yeah, and not saying it's easy to keep up with these guys.
No.
If you put me up against any of these guys, they're gonna leave me in the dust. But a referee does need to work hard to stay in good position. Now
he's got to anticipate it a little bit. You really don't want to go toe to toe with Keller, right?
Yeah.
But you got to get out ahead of him a little bit.
Now in a 5-0 game, you're probably not going to work quite as hard. Referee probably won't tell you that, but to be honest with you, that's kind of the truth. So a little bit understandable, but to make that call, that's tough for the Riders.
Well, and we were saying now's a good time to try some different things. That may have been a little different attack for the Riders, and we want to see if it's going to work, if it's going to be able to work.
Exactly.
And we did hear Coach Holtzapfel's generally very calm. He was chirping a little bit at the referee. You saw Triplet's hands kind of come up from frustration on that one. And I think we need to keep trying that. If that's a play, if that's an angle of attack that they want to try, well, have at it again.
Yeah, the Riders are – I've said it all year, the Riders really good when they strike quick. I like lately they've been mixing it up. They don't just try to strike quick every time. They'll knock the ball around, lull the defense to sleep, and then strike. And then sometimes they just go quick right from the back. So they've got a nice balance, I think, with their attack. But they're really good in tight spaces. They're really good with one-touches. You can really see their skill tonight.
Yeah, you add that with a little bit of speed and certainly aggressive nature of our upperclassmen, and it's a really tough combination for the Yellow Jackets to keep up with.
Yeah, Sidney's stepping up here. Their back four is stepping up, playing a real high line, trying to catch the Riders off. But Riders, I think, have figured it out for the most part. They'll get caught offside every once in a while, but for the most part, they're timing the runs up really well.
Cantner working hard over the top of a couple of slide tackles in a row. A lot of contact.
Yep. Hopefully the Riders aren't getting frustrated and looking to get too physical tonight. Like to see them save that physical play for the WBO games, save it for the playoffs. Don't want to get into too much of a heated battle tonight with the physical play.
Oh, no need for to take a chance of an injury
Exactly.
at this point. So a host of Yellow Jackets return to the game, and checking in for the Rough Riders, return to the game, number 3, Connor Rust, number 11, Hunter Winget, number 18, Caden Niergardner, and seeing action for the first time tonight for the Rough Riders, Colton Spray. He's a sophomore, and in many games, Spray has gotten into some varsity action. And not just in a 5-0 game like this, Seth, but Spray, he's a spark player. Never gives up, constantly moving without the ball. Boy, there's a shot just to the top of the frame, just over the keeper's fingers.
Yeah, Spray's one of those guys that you love to see get some time just because of the hard work that he puts in.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Yeah, let's see if we got a look at that on the Larry Schaff Auto Sales Instant Replay. Waterman assesses, takes a look, and pops it. Not sure if he was just trying to hit it to the backside of the net, but boy, he put it right on top of the frame. And again, round ball, round post, could go anywhere.
Yeah, and he is playing right defense, so nice to see him get involved in the attack there. Something that Dave and I were asking the boys to do earlier in the year, from our spot up here on top of the dugout, hoping for, and it seems to be something they've gotten more into this season.
I love to see that. We talked about it a couple of games ago, Seth, is that if we got an attack on the left-hand side, send your right defender up. Probably going to be uncovered. Just everybody has to switch around. Now we saw that again where the ball started on the left, Waterman went up, ended up with it on his foot, and you got to trust your backs.
Yep.
You got to trust that they're going to be, because they're going to be down a man, possibly down a man when they do that.
Yeah, and you got to be careful doing that against teams like Shawnee, some of those Salina, teams like that who can strike quick right back at you, who's got the skill to counterattack. But games like this, you can definitely risk that.
Yeah, now you're left behind trying to play catch-up, but yeah, it's a good point. Release of Waterman tonight is an easy decision. Return into the game for the Yellow Jackets, number 14, Christian Loaiza. We got Kraft with the restart, familiar foot back there. Nice ball in the middle. 50-50 ball with maybe a little bit too much contact. Yep, we got a push called.
And you'll notice that was in the back, which we were asking for earlier in the game. Vinny gets the call on that one, though.
Yeah, this one looked a lot less dangerous than the last one, but, maybe a little makeup call. Or, again, he may have seen something that he didn't like more than what we saw in that one.
Yeah, he might have to make a couple more calls and make up for that offside, according to the Riders. For me, it's fine. But the Riders aren't going to be happy no matter what, probably.
No, and with the camera crew we got here at Rider Nation Station, they probably picked that up really well. So they're going to watch it all the rest of the weekend, and it's just going to make them mad each time. Speaking of that, we got Carter Fisher and Rhett Chisholm on the cameras tonight, doing a great job as always. And a little bit during the halftime, I think Red headed down with a remote camera, was able to get some close-ups of the Rough Rider band. And I think on Rider Nation Station it might have been a little bit hard to hear the band, but they've been here with the Rough Riders all night under the direction of Howie Spencer, which should be a very familiar name for our Rider Nation Station fans. And also, special thank you goes out to the Rough Rider cheerleaders coming out tonight to cheer on the Rough Rider team.
Yeah, and that's one thing I love about St. Mary's. You always got the support, not only of the parents and some other fans, but you've got the band willing to come out, cheerleaders willing to come out and support the boys here.
Yeah, somebody asked me years ago, they said, how cool is it to have the band at a soccer game? And the answer was very.
Yeah. Other than being a coach, trying to bark orders to your sideline, I remember a time or two where that's happened. But overall, yeah, very cool.
Worth it. Yeah, it's worth it. Got Cantner working hard against the Yellow Jackets defense right here. Sees an opportunity, another centering ball. And there's Spray, always moving without the ball, as we said, like Ackroyd. Looking to get it down to Waterman. Looked like it was mishandled just a little bit there, almost saved. It was close. So we got some players checking in for both teams. Returning for the Rough Riders, number 16, Triplett, number 13, Keller. And checking in for the Yellow Jackets, number 5, Grant Hemmert. Got just under 18 minutes left in the second half. Rough Riders have certainly dominated. 18 shots versus The Yellow Jackets 2 or maybe 3 shots, I think is what you and I had, Seth. 9 corners to 0. That's a big story. And then 3 saves for Klaus and 7 saves for the Yellow Jackets keeper.
Hunter Winget working hard to get the ball, gets a shot off, rolls just wide. Before you got over here, Lance, I was telling how Sidney is 8-3, so not having a bad season, but their 3 losses, they have been kind of like tonight's game, pretty big losses for them. So they aren't a bad team. Rough Riders are just putting the ball in the back of the net, and this kind of goes to show you how good the Riders can be at their best.
Yeah, it's a great point. The games they lost were by like 8 or 9 goals, right? So it's very confusing because their record tells you one thing, and then the losses tell you another. So I think what it tells you is most of the teams they played against must have been a little bit softer, and then when they ran up against some serious competition, it was more than they could handle.
Yep, and by watching the game tonight, I can see some of the things they do well, and definitely some of their flaws that they have. And the Rough Riders definitely have speed to hit those holes that their back line's providing. So another great shot by Brady Triplett.
Wow, unselfish play from several Rough Riders to get that centered up. And then Triplett looks to bury it in the back of net, just goes over the top. I missed this at the last break, the throw-in, checking in for the Rough Riders for the first time tonight, getting some varsity action, number 5, Landon Dietz. And it looks like he's in a right back position. So the Jackets really have a choice here, Seth. They've got to figure out how to get on the board, and the way to do that, they're going to have to soften up their defense. It looks like they can either attack or defend, but right now they don't have the ability to do both against the Rough Riders.
Yeah, and really in the end here, they've had some chances to attack, but they continue to lose the ball before they really get any dangerous opportunities off. And that's mostly a lack of skill compared to the Riders. Their coaches really got a pretty decent game plan. They just lack that little bit of skill to execute it.
Well, at some point, they're just gassed. So even when they get that good run, think about our defense. They're back there resting, and then they finally get a run. It's just really hard to beat them. A couple players checked in at the break there for the Yellow Jackets. Number 7, Carson Sherman, and number 9, Jaden Dankelson checked into the game.
Foul there by Brady Triplett.
A little bit too much extracurricular right in the middle of the field, so that'll result in a direct kick. This is a tough one here, Seth. We've talked about it before. The referees will signal direct or indirect, but sometimes you can't tell the difference between the two. And there aren't a lot of signals that the referees give in soccer. I could probably write 10 more that would help us out.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times the fans are watching, they'll call a play, and it's like, was it a handball? Was it offsides? Was it a penalty? And the referees only have a couple of signals. They might help you out with with some kind of a sign, but most of the time they don't do a lot.
Brian Wallace is about the best at that.
To really let you know what the call was.
He kind of feels like a football referee sometimes, where I don't even know what he's doing with his hands sometimes, and it's kind of enjoyable to watch him. And usually you can figure out what he's calling. But yeah, for a lot of calls, soccer referees aren't really instructed to tell with their hands, with their body, what the foul is. It's really just put their hand up when it's an indirect kick and leave their hand down when it's not. Other than that, they don't really need to say anything or show anything. But yeah, it would be nice every once in a while to kind of get that communication.
It makes it tough for fans who know what's going on. Think about the fans that really are new to the game. The referee puts his hand up. That's offsides, but the hand up's also indirect.
Yeah.
And then they might point down towards the ground for a goal kick or a goal, and that's about the same thing as a direct. So maybe that's something we can work on with some recommendations to whoever will listen.
Yeah.
Just give me 5 hand signals that would help us out.
Good luck. I've got about a list of 100 things that I recommend to referees every game, and they don't seem to listen to my recommendations. So I don't know if it'll work. Maybe if you say it a little nicer than I do, they'll listen. But
I was thinking of writing it down and approaching some kind of a board or something.
Oh! I never thought about that. Maybe I'll try that next time.
Not screaming at him from the coach's box. All right, so we got Spray working down the middle of the field to Triplett to Keller. Keller looking at options, takes a hard hit, right side of the frame, just off frame.
I love the way the boys are moving the ball tonight. Quick one-touch and two-touch soccer, not trying to over-dribble. Sidney's giving them a ton of space in the middle, and the Riders are taking advantage and getting great opportunities off of it.
And they're making really nice, low, hard passes, 20, 30 yards at the time, and Sidney's allowing right now that space.
Yeah, we saw a few minutes ago they pushed up real high, played that high defensive line. Now they're dropping back, and they're giving the Riders the midfield, and both versions the Riders have no problem with. It's great to see the Riders adjust to that.
Yeah, so again, Sidney's really got the option here. Protect the net or attack, and right now they're choosing to protect the net, and it's keeping Klaus down there on his own, probably feeling a little lonely, but we like to keep our keepers bored if we can. Triplet with another opportunity, foot save.
I'm telling you, this goalie has got to be a hockey player. He has made more saves tonight with his feet than he has his hands.
He's busy.
All right, Sidney's got a good chance for a counter, but once again, lack of skill kind of kills that counter. I'd like to give the Riders probably some credit for good defense.
Yep, a little bit of both there. A little bit of gassed, a little worn out, plus a good defense for us. We did have a player check in for the Yellow Jackets in the last break. Number 18, Alex Fenton entered the game, and possibly, I think, for the Rough Riders, 24, Will Ross checked back into the game.
Getting a little breezy here tonight. Looks like the hurricane weather's getting to us.
Yeah, it's been a beautiful night. It really has. And the field, for the most part, has been in great shape, as it has been all year. Really well taken care of, watered well. But that rain that we got recently did tear it up a little bit on the goalie's box. By this time of year, you usually don't have a lot of grass left for the goalie. Keller looking with the left foot to center it up. Back to Eckroyd with the left foot. Yellow Jackets break it up in this case. Ackroyd staying very mobile. Left foot of Ross deflected and into the hands of the keeper. Keeper's been busy tonight. One thing I haven't counted is punts, and I think I probably would have run out of check marks. He's had a lot of goal kicks and a lot of punts. And early in the game, something you pointed out, Seth, the Yellow Jackets were having a hard time building. When they were on the south end, they were having a hard time building off the goal kick. That's something you typically see at a younger age, but that's terrifying for the coach when you just can't get it out of the hot zone.
Yeah, they've decided to go long pretty much every time since the opening minutes of the game.
Return to the game, number 29, Waterman, and then seeing action for the first time tonight for the Rough Riders, number 27, Grady Klaus. Just under 10 minutes in the second half of the game here. A beautiful Rough Rider field. Rough Riders are up 5-0, striking very quickly at the end of the second half. At the end of the first half, and then really have dominated possession, sidelines, and the middle third of the field. For sure, the Rough Riders have dominated for this half.
Yep, they got the ball there in the middle third, and something I've seen the last kind of 5 minutes, we're settling for long shots from outside the box because Sidney has dropped in pretty deep there with their defense. Don't want the Riders to get too one-dimensional here. So hopefully we see them break that trend here the next time they attack.
Yeah, and I can see why Sidney's doing that to force an angle of a shot and a depth of a shot that Rough Riders probably really don't want to take. Oh!
Now, that was a quick counterattack, and if we have a replay, he did look like to be in an offside position, but you'll see the defender.
See if there's no defender.
The defender took a purposeful touch on that ball, and when he takes that purposeful touch, there's no longer an offside.
There,
and maybe he wasn't offside in general, but he looked to be offside. But that touch, that deflection from the rider takes that offside away. So it doesn't matter.
So we saw that on the Larry Schaff Auto Sales instant replay. Klaus made the right move coming out, but one-on-one at that point he's beat too deep. So after the goal, now Rough Riders are up 5-1. After the goal, we got some fresh legs coming in for the Rough Riders. Number 12, Kyle Ibrahim enters the game. Number 26, Jackson Green, has entered the game. And number 33, Hunter Turpin, also entered the game for the Rough Riders. I know Jackson, Green, so Green and Ibrahim are freshmen. And Turpin, I think, is a sophomore getting some minutes here. Waterman getting a chance to take the corner. And we'll see if he can find a head of a freshman there. Takes a short corner to Klaus. Klaus looking for options, looking for the backside.
Good opportunity there for the Riders. The young guys picking up where the starters left off. Get some dangerous attacks. But you will want to see the defense tighten things up here. Giving up that goal, I know Coach isn't going to be too happy because they do still have 2 or 3 of their top guys back there in the defense. So no real excuse to give up a goal here at this point in the game. But we have seen several times where Sidney has gotten some chances. Most of the time, Riders have been able to get the ball back. But there has been some holes in our defense tonight, and Sidney finally found one of them and put the ball back of the net.
The holes came early in the game that we saw, a couple of quick saves by Klaus very early on. Since then, the Rough Riders tightened it up, and then just a moment ago. And, you know, if you're Sidney's coach, you're going to say, listen, we may lose this game, but let's not lose 5-0 or 6-0. Let's get something on the board.
Yep, in games like that, doesn't happen often. I'm pretty proud of that, but definitely happens. Sometimes you just play teams that are better than you. And but you want to go down with a fight, so sometimes you get a little desperate. You throw some extra players up there, like you mentioned before, maybe doing. I don't think they did that, but they definitely continued to fight. So good to see that. Coach will be happy with that.
Yeah, no shoulders, no lowering the shoulders. Heads aren't down too badly. We've got a goal kick coming up, and checking back in for the Rough Riders. We see the 3 seniors returning onto the field. Number 3, Connor Russ. Number 13, Braden Keller. Number 7, Vinny Holtzapple. And sometime, and I missed this, apologize for this, number 25, Isaiah Fast entered the game for the Rough Riders, seeing action for the first time tonight. Isaiah Fast gets a lot of JV minutes, and he's been in many, many varsity situations.
See how the young guys play. See if they play similar style to the typical varsity starters.
Yep, we got Russ looking to Green. Love it when a senior trusts a freshman with the ball. Green was looking for the left foot to center it up. And on the front line for the Rough Riders right now, we got Jackson Green on the left-hand side, Keller and Fast coming up the middle, and then Ibrahim on the right side attacking position. Nice to see a good mix of freshmen and experienced players, and I always love it when an experienced player trusts a young player with the ball.
Yeah, you just hope the young players can keep that trust.
Yeah, you don't want to mishandle too many of them before they don't let you get it back. Right now, they're probably feeling pretty good, though, with the score being 5-1.
Yep. Connor Rust with a accidental foul there.
Yep, probably a trip from behind there. We'll check this on the Larry Schaff Auto Sales instant replay. Yellow Jackets got possession and got caught up with him a little bit. He certainly didn't reach his foot out there. No card. Wasn't really a trip from behind, just more. It looked like a trip from behind. It was just more body-to-body contact.
Sidney plays a similar ball to what Shawnee was doing the other night. Shawnee really likes to play basically any free kick up high, nice floating ball to the back line or just past the back line, see if something funny happens.
Yeah, and anything could happen in the case of Shawnee, as we said, with a wet turf and a wet ball, a lot of things can happen. Put it up there, see what happens when you put it near or on frame.
Yeah.
And Yellow Jackets just did that. We haven't seen that much tonight, Seth, where the Yellow Jackets put a high ball up on maybe on the 18 or below the 18 to see what will happen.
Yeah. Another opportunity for Sidney to counter, but can't quite find the easy connections. They do have open men standing around the field, but having a hard time finding them.
Dietz was there to break that one up. So the starter, Klaus, gets a break here, comes out, and gets a round of applause, of course, as we expect. And then covering for the box now is number 89, the sophomore, Clay Milner. Clay has been the go-to keeper for the JV and gotten a few minutes here and there on the varsity as well. So plenty of time left for Clay to get some action in this game. And as Holtzapple backs off on the experience of the players, Milner may get some action back there, especially if Sidney keeps in their more experienced players. We got Rust working right down the middle of the field, looking for Fast in the middle. Ibrahim challenging this one on the middle third, that middle third that we find so important to own possession. Sidney doesn't like it, clears it out to the sidelines. We've got a throw-in coming up. We do have a Sidney player on the ground from here. Doesn't look like a major injury, and when I say major, I'm talking neck or head or something like that. He's sitting right now with another player coming over to help him out. So we'll take just a moment here.
I think he just wanted to give Molly Rindler something to do tonight. She's been pretty bored over there, I think.
Yeah, thank goodness we have Molly. It's great to have an experienced trainer. I guess she works 8-9 nights a week. Let's put it this way. I've never been in a gym or a field on any time, and she wasn't there.
Yep. Yeah, great to have, and especially somebody that's from St. Mary's. You know, they understand the Rough Rider traditions. They support everything Rough Rider. So great to have her here.
So that Sidney player that was on the pitch is up and walking now, working his way around the field. So fortunately, he's moving on his own power. Sidney's making a little bit of an attack up the middle of the field. Holtzapfel breaks it up. We got the freshman Green working the ball. Lost it there and working to get it back. He's got his 7 seconds to get it back. Deflection, twice deflected into the hands of the sophomore Milner.
Glad to see he's not nervous back there, or at least not making it look like he is. He was quick to jump off his line to attack that ball.
And had to make two moves there to get a hold on that thing. Russ is coming up the middle here.
He's got some support. See if he sees him. Jackson Green back here, waiting for the drop. Got plenty of space.
Didn't need it yet. Now he chooses to go to Green. Green's going to put that ball up high to Keller or Ibrahim. There's that communication you were talking about earlier, Seth. If that's Keller Holtzapfel, Keller probably leaves it go, but he can't feel Ibrahim back there.
Yeah.
Talking about a freshman and a senior, and he probably doesn't even – Kyle probably didn't say anything back there. And now the 3 seniors are coming out of the game, Connor Russ, Braden Keller, and Vincent Holtzapfel. Get a round of applause, standing ovation from our crowd here at Rough Rider Field. Doesn't mean, though, it won't go back into the game. We're probably at this point. Congratulations, take a break and get ready for Kenton on Monday.
Yeah, and all 3 of them played super hard tonight. Pretty smart. Definitely a big reason the Riders are going to walk away with a win tonight. See what kind of play the Riders do now with pretty much all JV players in here.
Yep, we got Bronson Engel in the game, Grady Klaus in the game. You got Huck Hertenstein up front. There's a familiar name around St. Mary's. And I think those are the guys that checked in last.
Yeah, and the Riders are looking pretty disorganized, which is to be understandable with young guys they got in. See if they can put something together.
These guys all played together on different teams, right? Now you mix them all together. You know how that is. With any sport, they got to get to know each other and get some shape figured out here. Waterman defending the ball. Of course, you got Kraft back there. Drops it down to his own foot off his head. Yellow Jackets are working them in the field. Under 2 minutes left in the game. Rough Riders up 5-1 here. Beautiful Rough Rider field.
Bronson Engel with some good defense there. Sidney guy gets kind of tired of dribbling and just plays it long.
Yep. Milner handles that easily. Sets it up on the near side for us. Looking at Green to try to keep it in from the sideline. And just couldn't get his foot on the ball. Yellow Jackets have a throw in. So coming up on a minute left in the game. On the foot of Hertenstein, pushing it up to Klaus, up to Green.
And that's a great look. If you get Braden Keller or Brady Triplett running onto that ball, you probably got a goal or scoring opportunity.
That was a really nice seam that those 2 boys just worked to get it through. Klaus getting it under the middle of the field to LeBronson Engel, out to the outside to Dietz. Dietz has got Ibrahim in the corner if he wants him, or he may play a through ball in the middle. He's got time.
Love that he took his space there. That was beautiful.
Into the back of the net at the 47-second mark.
That's one of those plays old Dave Ring would be proud of, taking that space, dribbling until he's got pressure, and then finding an easy ball in.
Wow, here it comes again. Dietz is on the foot of Dietz. He's got the choices. And then Fast just deflects it up, and then a real athletic play from Fast into the back of the net. Keeper had no choice but to come out and try to defend him.
Fast used his body there to keep the defender on his backside and was able to turn him and get that touch. Great play from the young guys here.
So we got coming up on 30 seconds left in the game. Rough Riders up 6-1 over the Sidney Yellow Jackets.
Some hard work by Zaya Fast here.
Good ball handling.
See if the Riders can get another goal-scoring opportunity.
Jackson's got Ibrahim coming up the middle. A little too deep of a pass. Keeper handles that one easily. Coming up on 10 seconds left in the game.
9, 8,
Last drop down off of Waterman.
5,
50-50 ball, Hertenstein. And that should do it here, Rough Rider Field. So, after 80 minutes of play, the Rough Riders come out on top, have a really good comeback after the emotional loss against Shawnee the other night, and put it on the board against the Yellow Jackets 6-1. So,
yeah, great bounce-back game for the Riders. Clear their heads a little bit, move on, and now they'll be ready for Kenton on Monday, I think.
So tomorrow night, let's see, what do we got tomorrow night? We got football at Van Wert. And then Monday, we got a WBL matchup, and that's going to be the boys soccer versus Kenton. We were talking about that earlier. And then Tuesday, the Lady Riders are going to be here at Rough Rider Field against Elida.
And that is youth night on Tuesday, the girls' game. So any of those young people out there or parents, you want to get rid of your kid, drop them off at Rough Rider Field. As long as they're wearing their game jersey, their uniform, they can get in the door for free. Might have some activities here for you. So join us out here on Tuesday night for the girls' game. Any of the youth.
And if they wear their uniforms, they get in free.
Yep.
And Katie Hertenstein knows that because she's a tough gatekeeper here at Rough Rider.
She doesn't let anybody in.
She doesn't let anybody in.
She barely let me in tonight.
Make sure she knows. So as we conclude our broadcast tonight, Seth, just any last comments about the game, about how it started versus how the first half ended, and then what you saw in the second half of the game tonight?
I was definitely curious, and we mentioned early on that the boys looked a little flat early. Probably still thinking about that Shawnee loss, thinking, this game doesn't matter, it doesn't mean anything, but Riders quickly changed that, fixed that, and they pretty convincing win against a team they should have beat. But you got to show up, you got to do it, and they did. And I really like the variety of how they scored the goals tonight. It wasn't all one-dimensional. It wasn't all those long through balls through the seams. They found different ways to score. You'd like to see a little bit more action on the corners, maybe a corner goal with, I don't know how many they ended up with, 9, 10 corners. But other than that, I think they look pretty good. I think they're definitely ready for Kenton. Kenton doesn't have a super strong team this year, but it's Kenton. So they're going to put up a fight. So we'll see. Definitely have some holes to fix in the defense. Giving up that late goal, kind of similar to what we saw all game. Sidney just didn't take advantage, but they finally did on that one. So they'll have to plug those holes here before Kenton.
Very good. Of course, we'll have it'll be a tough match against Kenton as always, and any kind of WBL matchup is always going to be emotional, very physical, and I think you're right, a couple of the holes Coach Holtzap will be working on, talking to the boys about, and then capitalizing on those corner kicks. Getting them is important, but finishing them is more important.
Yeah, and the boys have worked hard this year to improve. This is not the same Rough Rider team that we saw early in the season. They've adjusted, they've changed, they've grown, so we just want to continue to see that, especially as we get closer and closer to the playoffs. With the WBL probably out of sight, and something could always happen, but Shawnee's probably not going to give that up. So really you're working now just for the playoffs.
Probably, yep. As you said, it's all one big warm-up to get into the playoffs and then go hot from there. So after 80 minutes of play, Rough Riders come up on top over the Sidney Yellow Jackets 6-1. And we appreciate everybody tuning into Rider Nation Station, especially our friends and family from out of state. Forgot to mention the Ackroyd family, always tuning in from our Michigan audience. So thanks again, appreciate it. Seth, thanks for having me here tonight, Rider Nation Station. See you next time.
Thanks for watching another episode of Rider Nation Station. Help us help you by subscribing on YouTube or following us on Facebook.